Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Civivi Bhaltair, or at least that's how I'm going to pronounce it. A rare, beastly Civivi knife. I mean, truly, this thing is huge. Especially for Civivi. It should be available right now. I'll link it right down below. I expected the price on this to be kind of stupid because I thought Civivi would be like, oh, well, big knife, so we have to charge big money for it. No, actually, they were fairly reasonable. This is G10 steel and 14C28N, and it's a lot of those materials. And in my opinion, they kept the price reasonable. I'm going to link it right down below in all the different variations because your only choice is definitely not black and blasted, right? It does help my channel when you use those links before you buy something, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to Civivi for sending this knife in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Okay. Let's measure it so you guys can get an idea of how big this thing is. Overall length of the Bhaltair is 9 inches. Blade length, you could call it 4 1/4 down here. Realistically, though, in the middle of the blade, if we follow that line, it's about 4 inches. Cutting edge is about 3.65. How about some size comparisons? Just a couple today. Where is the rat? There it is. Rat 1 versus the Rat 2, making the Rat 1 look tiny and the Rat 2 even tinier. How about up against the Demco AD 20.5? There we go. Let's put it up against some bigger knives. Well, not huge, but bigger at least for the size comparison knives. Up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue. And then finally the Spyderco Para 3, which looks a lot bigger than it is because it's down at the bottom right now, but there's a general idea. How is the action on this knife? It's good, just like most other Civivis that I have handled. I think the blade is totally fall shut because it's so big. There is no double clutch. Civivi, for some reason, made this absolute hazard of a disengagement. So why did you make this meat grinder? Why? This needs to be cut lower. We need side access to this area, and this the jimping, geez. I mean, yeah, if you're wearing gloves, you're going to be able to disengage it, no problem. But man, that is just needlessly toothy. Way too harsh. You mean you could have done no jimps and it would have still been harsh, right? This needs to be cut lower, and this should have been slightly scalloped. And I'm not sure it needed teeth. That is the most uncomfortable part of manipulating this knife. A few times getting after that liner, and it's going to hurt. On the flip side, though, I think Civivi made the most perfect thumb studs I have ever seen on a knife. These are unbelievable. It's so funny to me that they're like, let's make an absolute enemy, an ergonomic enemy out of the liner, right, the disengagement zone, but let's make the friendliest friend that you have ever befriended when it comes to the thumb studs. Those are beautiful, just beautiful little doorknobs. They are so comfortable. I would recommend Civivi just make these universal for like everything. They are perfect. It's just a funny contrast there. Action's great. The D10 is tuned very well, right? Especially considering we have a combo flipper and thumb stud opener. And the flipper works the way that you would expect it to. There's nothing, we don't need to overcomplicate that. Carry profile. Thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's honestly maybe it's a little bit thicker, Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3, you can see here. It's going to take up a lot of room in the pocket. Height-wise, definitely taller than both at maximum height, and it's longer close than the Para 3. Materials, we are looking at heavily textured G10, pretty aggressively textured G10, steel liners, and a big 14C28N blade. Weight. It is milled out for weight reduction, by the way. There we go. Weight on this guy is coming in at not as heavy as I thought, 5.89 ounces. It's still big. It's still heavy. It's still going to be too big of a knife for a lot of people to carry. There you go. How about a hardware check? Let me get out my tools as per usual. Where are the bits? There they are. Well, that's it. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. That's a T8. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. It's a T8. Just trust me. Pivot is a T8. And the body screws are also going to be T8. Pocket clip screws are going to be T6. That's just the way that it is. At least they milled it out on this side. Wait. Oh, you know what? They have a filler screw that's a T8, but the actual clip screws are going to be T6. Why, guys? Just make everything T8. It's fine the way that it is. It'd be easy to take apart. Make sure you got the right tools for the job and you should be good to go. Blade stock thickness. Will that stand up? Yeah. I'm going to guess that's 120. Maybe less. Maybe 115. Let's see. It's less. It's 115 thousandths. So there you go. All right. Meat and potatoes time. I have to applaud Civivi. And, you know, while this is still a pretty straight and simple profile, they are obviously taking more chances, and I like that. A huge knife that has a blade shape that looks like some sort of tower from Halo is obviously not going to be for everybody, but it is interesting. It's more interesting than the folding steak knife formula that they've been using since they first started, right? So I like that. I like that we're seeing subtle deviancies. Is that a word? We're seeing subtle deviation from the path. Who cares? Who cares how I say it? You guys understand what I'm saying, right? I like this, and the blade is wild. I mean, it's a Tanto, right? But we just have a lot of triangles within the Tanto. The flat. I mean, this was creative. Whoever came up with this. Functionally, it will definitely poke. The actual cutting edge, I mean, it's not super thick to begin with, and we have this flat that is almost in the middle of the blade. The actual cutting edge is okay. It's still lifting the edges, which means, and if you're wondering what I mean by that, it's more of a tear than a slice. It is still a slice, but the edges of the paper are sort of rolling over, so the slice isn't perfectly clean. Obviously, that can be changed with reprofiling, just better sharpening in general. But as far as the geometry and the edge right out of the box, that's kind of what it's wanting to do. In reality, in practice, it will cut what you want it to cut. The geometry is not going to slow anybody down to the point where it's just like not going to work. It will work. Most of the people who are going to pick this up are going to pick it up because they think it looks cool, not because they're under some sort of delusion about utility, right? So yeah, it does what you need it to do. That blade is definitely the coolest part, and it really is big. For a lot of people, that's just cool factor in and of itself, and I get that, right? There's something about a big knife. I've always been like that. I can appreciate smaller knives, and sometimes I will choose smaller knives over a bigger knife depending on where I'm going, right? I mean, if I'm going to dinner, I'm not going to put the Cold Steel Espada XL in my pocket. Some people might. To me, that's a silly choice, an uncomfortable choice. Just not going to do it. Honestly, I can't think of too many scenarios where I really would want that thing in my pocket anyway, but I wouldn't take this to dinner. There are situations where I might care if I'm just going to go on a hike or, I don't know. Yeah, sure, why not? It's cool. It's big, right? I mean, it's not so much that I feel like I need a bigger knife. It's just because I just like a bigger knife. It's enjoyable. Holding this thing, and I think it's the width of the frame and the fact that there's some heavy chamfering at the edges, which really does make it comfortable. It's just kind of a cool knife to hang on to. It's just funny that it's a Civivi, because if I think Civivi, if I was blindfolded and someone said, "You're about to pick up a Civivi," my brain would be prepared for a much more slender handle and a much lighter weight knife. I just would not expect to pick something like this up, right? Truthfully, the most offensive part of this knife by a landslide is this area right here. This is ridiculous. How did they go, yeah, you know what? That's fine. That's perfect. Leave that in there. Now, silly. Blade is blasted. I think the heat treat on the 14C28N is 58 to 60. I think 14C28N shines at about 59 to 61. I think maybe it's 59.60. It's not the same range as M390, so I don't want people who don't know better. You know, don't get your balloon knot tied in a tighter balloon knot over that, right? I don't want this. Some people think that there's this line where it's anything that's below 60 is bad, or if it's above 60 it's good, and that is not how composition works. It's case by case. It depends on the composition and the intended, what the purpose of the composition was. Most blade steels, their intended purpose is not as a pocket knife, right? It's a lot of times it's like, you know, I think S90V was industrial food prep. Maybe that's S110V. And we were like, hey, let's put it on a pocket knife, you know? So there's an optimal range for every individual steel. I don't know if 58 to 60 is exactly right. I feel like 59 or 60 is where 14C 28N should be. So it's okay, is what I'm saying. You can choke up here. There's a little bit of a trapezoid, a finger trapezoid, which is not quite big enough for my finger. So I wish that they had made that a little bigger, especially considering that last little bit does not clear. It just barely clears the thumb stud. So they could have gone a little bit more. We got a lot of blade there, right? 3 little lines here just to break up the continuous pattern. Okay, that's Civivi. There's a lanyard bar, which is all the more we ever need. We don't need holes in blades anymore. That's silly. So this is the right way to do that. You can mount the pocket clip for left or right-handed carry, which is good, but they've insisted on the Loch Ness monster clip once again, which I hate, but I don't see them changing that anytime soon. Why do I hate it? Because it's grabby. That is a grabby bill. You will walk by something, it will catch, and it will bend out. That will happen if you carry this as a dedicated pocket knife. It might not happen the first day or the second day, but it will eventually happen. That it just will. Clips like this are grabby. In and out of the pocket might be a little bit of a mess because this is aggressive texturing. So your pants will fray up over time. If you carry a pocket knife, they probably already are frayed, but this will do it more aggressively. There's a stop pin back here. There's a little bit of shouldering, so that's nice. Jimping, honestly, is okay. They stopped it short of the swedge, which I think is probably a good idea. No blade play up, down, left, or right. No lock stick. No double clutch. No pivot lash. Very smooth in here, like I said. Decent detent, not bad. And we have perfect centering. I thought this was going to be like an $85 knife. I thought Civivi was going to try and pull a fast one on everybody. No, they want $63 for this. Pretty reasonable. Obviously not going to be for everybody because it's really big. If you like big knives, you'll love this, right? Especially the price tag. Nice and high quality. No matter who you are, you're going to hate that lock bar. If you're somebody who exclusively wears gloves while they use their knives, you'd be all right. Everybody else, which is most of us, you're going to disengage that lock bar one time and go, ow, that sucks. That is the biggest issue with this knife. And it's, considering you have to do that every time you put it away, unless you're a psychopath and you carry your folding knife around in the open position, nobody does that. You will interact with that lock bar and it will suck. It's going to bite your thumb. It's not like a subtle, like a love tap. No, it's like an angry little puppy is sinking its teeth into your thumb every single time you disengage the lock bar. So what were you guys thinking, Civivi? Everything else about this knife is honestly pretty cool. And I hope they continue to do wacky, interesting blades like this in the future. I also really hope they continue to make big knives. They could do with adding like 20 to 30%. You could probably calm down on the tiny knives and introduce 20 to 30% more large knives in your lineup. And I think a lot of people would enjoy it. So that's just my opinion, though. There's really nothing else to say. This is a cool knife. If you like big knives, I can recommend it. I know that not everybody likes big knives, and this is a pretty big knife, so I can't just openly put this on my recommended knives playlist. But as it sits, it is a cheap knife that I like. I will put it on my cheap knives I like playlist. So anyways, thanks again to Civivi for sending this in. It'll be linked down below. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.